The Quizlet Story and how I started it, because I think it might be relevant to a few of you. So first of all, how many of you have used Quizlet before? Awesome. Looks like most of you. That's great. So when I was starting Quizlet, this is a picture of me doing my math homework when I was 15. I was a sophomore at Albany High School in Albany, California, which is in the East Bay. And I was taking this French class with this woman, Miss Selvin, who had a really difficult class. So here she has a bunch of vocabulary words, I think some verbs that she had written on the board. We did a lot of really fun activities in her class. We wrote our own skits, we cooked French food, we did a ton of poetry stuff, so we would memorize the poem and have to recite it in class, and then we'd write these long essays analyzing the poems and stuff like that. So we did all this cool stuff, but we also had a ton of homework and a ton of vocabulary that we needed to learn. And so one night, Ms. Selvin gave us, for homework, for a single night, 111 French animals that we needed to learn for a quiz the next day. And so you can imagine there's the normal words like a mouse or a cat that you might need to learn if you didn't have a crazy teacher. But because we had her, she had us learn un bouquetin, which is an ibex, or the chevreuil, which is a small forest deer. And I was like, this is a crazy assignment. But so I was getting my dad to quiz me and basically ask me which some of these words, and then I would say the French word. And I realized that this wasn't a very good system. He was not very good at marking which ones I knew, not very good at spacing them out. And so I realized that I could build a tool that would keep track of the words I needed to know and just make me type in the ones I didn't know. So I built this thing that would ask you a question and make you type in the answer. And if you got it right, it wouldn't ask you again. If you got it wrong, it would save it for later and ask you again later. So basically how Learn Mode works on Quizlet. And that was the only very simple insight. I had done a little bit of coding before, not that much, but a little bit. And so I knew enough to make something basic like this. And for my next test, I got 100% on it. And that was the first time I'd ever done that because of this tool. And I was like, wow, this is really fun. And really cool. And so I shared it with a few of the friends in my class who also had the same teacher with the same crazy assignments. And the rest of the students also started getting much better grades in the class. And I was just like, oh, this is really fun. And so I kept working on it for about a year and a half. And so in 2007, I launched it publicly on Quizlet.com so anyone could sign up and create their own content on it. And what I realized pretty early on, which was sort of interesting that I didn't expect, is that it upgraded the level of classroom instruction because rather than spending a lot of time sort of going over the basic words and having these sort of really sort of not that interesting conversations about what words mean and how to conjugate them, for example, we could have these much richer dialogues that used the vocabulary in class. And we could have skits and stuff like that where we were using stuff because everyone had already done the very basics of learning the words. And so that was really fun. And then Quizlet just started growing by word of mouth. So I wasn't, this was 2005, I wasn't really, through 2007, I wasn't really thinking about starting a business. I was just building this for myself and my friends. And over time, as it started growing and people started using it, I realized, oh, this could be something that a lot of people would like, and that maybe we could make some money from it. So I sort of backed into it or stumbled into it. I wasn't really thinking about starting my own business. In 2008, I decided to go to MIT, or I got into MIT, decided to go, and did 3 years of computer science here. I did some research on speech recognition, so I built a little tool that would integrate with Quizlet and get people to study by voice, which was really fun. And I also started getting into education. So I realized that in high school I didn't really have any special passion for education. I didn't really know anything about sort of the broader context of educational systems and schools and policy and stuff like that. But through Quizlet, I realized that there are a lot of really interesting trends, there are a lot of interesting problems, and not enough smart technology people were working in this space. So I started taking some classes and really enjoyed sort of learning about how Quizlet fits in this sort of broader ecosystem. So then in 2011, I made a really difficult decision to leave MIT early and move out to San Francisco and get an office and make it for more of a real company. So I started hiring a few people. This is sort of the early team, and we started building our first apps because it had just been the website before then. And so then fast forward a few more years, in 2015 we raised money for the first time, and that's when sort of it got even more serious. We started hiring much more quickly. That was 10 years into the beginning of the project. So between 2005 and 2015, it had been, as a team, sort of growing relatively slowly, and you know, we were funding it just off of the money that it was making, and so we couldn't really hire that many people. And then in 2015, we raised $12 million, and that allowed us to hire a bunch more people. So we got up to about 60 people, and then we raised our Series B a couple weeks ago, which is really exciting, for another $20 million more. And that's allowing us to build out a lot of new teams. We're investing a lot in machine learning stuff. We're investing in international stuff. So doing a lot of stuff we couldn't do if we were doing it just off of revenue. So how many of you have used Quizlet Live? Awesome. Slightly less, but that's great. So in 2016, we launched a classroom game for the first time called Quizlet Live, which is the fastest growing sort of part of the product that we've ever built. And it's a multiplayer classroom game that gets students to answer questions on teams and spreads the answers across the team so no one student can sort of dominate it. And it's a super fun game. Students really love it, and definitely proud of how quickly it spread. And then today, some quick stats. So we have 31 million monthly active users. We have about half of all US high school students using Quizlet, about a third of all US college students. We have 70 employees, this is most of them here, and we're a top 25 US website. So definitely sort of at scale now. And I want to talk about the mission. So when I started Quizlet, I didn't really have a mission beyond like getting you know, a good grade in French class. But over time, it became important to sort of evangelize Quizlet and talk about what it could be, not just sort of what it already is. And so we came up with this thing, help students practice and master whatever they're learning. Whatever they're learning being sort of one of the most important parts. We're not the ones trying to create the curriculum or create the content for you. We're helping you with whatever class or whatever content you're learning. And so I wanted to also talk about my personal sort of project and mission for this year. So about a year ago, we hired a VP of engineering, and we also hired a CEO and a VP of product. And so those were, until then, a lot of those, that role was handled by me, and then I sort of passed it off to different people on the team. And so that's allowed me to focus more purely on the future of Quizlet and new things that we could build. And so today, and for the next 3 or 4 months, I'm working on a project that we're calling like a concept car. So the idea of a concept car is like, a lot of car companies will do this thing where they build one car that looks super crazy, barely drives, maybe is duct taped together inside, but it shows off some new way of using it, or some new engine, or some futuristic theme. And so what I'm doing for the next few months is trying to build a similar thing, but for Quizlet, where we show off how we use machine learning, show off how we use AR and VR, how we use voice conversational interfaces to help people learn at scale. So the biggest thing that I'm excited about is Quizlet is 30 million people now, but it has the potential to help every student in the world, which is about 1 billion people. And so my job is to figure out sort of what we need to build from here that will get us there, and how that will help people learn. And so my ask for you today, I'm going to be here for most of the day, and what I'd love to hear from you guys is either or both what's frustrating to you about Quizlet and what we should change, and also what new things you think we could build in sort of adjacent or nearby parts of the product that we haven't built yet. So if you could help me with that, I'd love to hear that, and I'll also be around to help on your projects, and I'm really excited to see what you guys are working on. Hopefully one day I'll be getting a job with one of you guys at your companies. So that's about all I had. My email is andrew@Quizlet if you want to shoot me a note. My Twitter is @azu. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Andrew. So, you guys are here at the Blueprint Hackathon. This is the second day. Welcome back to those of you who went to the Learnathon. Thank you for coming to that. And if you didn't come, welcome to Blueprint. So, I guess our first question is, what is a hackathon? And you might be wondering this because high schoolers normally don't really get the chance to go to hackathons. So hackathons are cool. They are hacking marathons. What you do is you spend the day ideating and building a product, or not necessarily a product, like a tool, something really cool that you might not get the chance to do during your high school daily lives, like when you're studying for French class or something like that. So we really hope you guys get a good chance at like using all the resources that we have provided to you. We have mentors, we have really cool staff. Yeah, so how's this gonna work? So the first step is finding a team. Our teams, you can be like anywhere from 1 to 4 people in a team. And technically at the beginning, it doesn't really matter who you sign up with, because your like actual team only matters when you submit your project for judging. But we don't want you guys like switching teams like carelessly, because it's good to work on one thing with the same people for the whole day. So there are like a lot of really cool people here. So if you don't have like a full team, or you don't know anyone here, you should try to meet new people. They're really cool, really smart people. Yeah. So second, you guys have to find a place to work. So you must stay on this floor of the media lab today. If you want to go anywhere else, please ask the help desk before you like decide to go anywhere, because it's really important that you guys stay in either this room or the big room outside over there. And if you notice, these tables are all round tables. They have 8 chairs per table. So we're not going to be able to fit everyone unless like we have at least 2 teams per table. So that means that if you're a team of 4, if you have 2 teams of 4, you can sit at a table. Try not to leave like empty seats, because we don't have that many extra. Next, once you have a team and you've discovered where you want to work, you have to decide on a division. So we have 2 divisions today. We have rookie division and experienced division. Rookie is for people that really haven't had the chance to like make their own project, which is Probably a lot of you. Most high schoolers, again, haven't had the chance to go to a hackathon. So basically what qualifies a rookie is, actually I'll talk about it later when I'm talking about like the teams. Finally, work on your project, make something cool. We don't have a theme for this hackathon. You can just create whatever you think will be the best project for yourself. Yeah. So going through the schedule. So as you guys know, we delayed the opening talk by 30 minutes. So the time in your booklet might be a little off. What you guys want to do is go to the day of website, which is dayof.hackmit.org. Yeah. And that'll have like the up-to-date schedule. So basically, nothing has really changed except for team formation yeah, nothing has really changed except for team formation. That's going to happen after this talk. Yeah, so basically, you guys already went through check-in and breakfast. Cool. This is the opening talk right now, and you guys can hack. There's team formation, which is really cool. In there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna announce what team formation is at the end. It's in that room right over there. You guys want to know. Anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of cool things we have today. So we have like the MIT student panel. That's going to be really cool. We have 4 MIT students with like very different backgrounds and experiences. They're going to talk to you about what it's like to be an MIT student. If you guys remember when you applied, you had to ask a question. So I'm going to answer a bunch of those questions as well. Again, these people are like really smart, really cool people. And they've done like a lot of really cool things. So you guys should check out the student panel. Then we have lunch. We're going to announce when lunch is. I want to eat lunch. And then later we're going to have a campus excursion. Most likely, it sort of depends on how bad the weather is outside, but it's on for now. So basically, we're going to take you throughout MIT. We're going to tour. We're going to show you like the really cool places that you might not necessarily see on like a camp, like one of the scheduled like tour guides or whatever. I don't know what they call it. There's like a lot of really cool stuff, like the tunnels of MIT that you might not like normally see. So yeah, it's really cool. And then later we're going to have Tim the Beaver meet and greet. If you guys don't know, Tim is our mascot. So we have like a ginormous Tim person that someone's going to walk in. And then you can like take pictures with him. He's like, he's friendly. Yeah. And then, so this is kind of important. So while all this is happening, you don't have to go to these events, but we really we encourage it because it's a cool thing to do. But you can be hacking during this time, and then at 5:30 we're going to have project submission. So this is important because you need to submit your project, but you don't have to stop working on it. Basically, you're not going to be judged on what you give during project submission. You're going to be judged on what you have when the judges come around. So you need to submit at 5:30, but you can continue working on your project if you think you need to. Finally, we're going to have judging at 6. They're going to walk around, these judges are going to walk around and like look at your projects, talk to you. Yeah. And then we'll have winners. We'll have a closing talk at 7:30. And then you guys can be on your way. So this is the map of the floor that we're on right now. As you can see, we're in the multi-purpose room in the top right. This is the stage, that's the top right red rectangle. And basically, those are the only places you can go to. There's a lecture hall over there, which is again where team formation is going to happen. And there's the big workspace outside. The restrooms are to the right. You go further down, and the food is in the kitchen. As you might have seen, it's also to the right. So, here are the logistics. These are really important, so make sure you listen, because this is going to help the whole event run. So, for reminders, even if you went to the Learnathon yesterday, you're still going to have to do this again because it's like a different reminding system. But basically, you're going to have to text at BP-18 to the number 81010. You can do that right now. It'll be really quick. If you do that, then we're going to send reminders throughout the day that you're going to get through text. So it's really important to do that to make sure you're like keeping up to date with everything that's happening. Next, we have the mentor queue. So this is really what one of the great things about these hackathons are, is we have mentors that can help you. Andrew's going to be one of the mentors. We have other really cool smart people that can help you out with the project. So the link to sign up is go.hackmit.org/Q. You must sign up for this help queue because it'll really help things flow. It'll make things easier for the mentors and yourselves once you find yourself needing help. So yeah. Next, food. Well, I'm going to tell you when that happens. It's going to be in the kitchen. We're going to provide both lunch and dinner. If you have dietary restrictions, that might have been an issue yesterday, but today we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. If you do have dietary restrictions that you think are not going to work out over here, please come to the help desk. We're going to help you out. That's done. For Wi-Fi, you might have already figured it out. You need to use MIT to connect. That'll work best. If MIT doesn't work, then use MIT Guest. Those are probably the only two Wi-Fi networks that are going to work. So these are the two important numbers for safety issues. They're also in your booklet. But basically, you want to call the Blueprint hotline if you have a small issue. If you see something whack happening, the number's up there. It's also your booklet. If something really crazy happens, you want to call the MIT police because that's when things get really serious, and it's sort of like calling 911 for MIT. You can also just ask people in staff shirts, this blue shirt, if you need help with something, like something weird is happening. Yeah, so make sure to have fun, but please stay safe. Like catch on fire or something. So next we have the code of conduct. So this is really important today. That's the link to that it's at go.hackmit.org/COC. So this is really important because these are basically the rules of the hackathon. We expect you guys to be respectful in like what a hackathon sort of requires because it's really important. Basically, the main rule that we have is that you must have you must only use things that you have started and written at Blueprint as your project submission, unless it's an open source library. If you need to import a package or something that's open source, you can use that. But otherwise, it must have been started and worked on over here. If the rules in the code of conduct are not followed, you might not be able to accept your submission. So, to get the most out of today, again, there's a lot of things you can do at a hackathon. We want you to learn, first of all, as much as you can. That's the most important part. It's not really about the prizes. That's not what hackathons are for. We want you to learn as much as you can about some topic that you might not get the chance to learn about during school. We want you to build a really cool project. Work with your teammates, talk to them, come up with something really cool, something that you wouldn't normally do, because that's where all the fun comes from. And we want you to meet new people, because again, people are cool. We also have fun events throughout the day. As I mentioned in the schedule, we have the student panel, the campus excursion, and the Beaver event. Yeah, and we also encourage you guys to socialize during the event. If you are like really tired of coding and don't want to do anything, just talk to people around you. See what they're working on. Ask them about the project and sort of just like, I don't know, gain from the experience. So, the divisions. As I mentioned, there's the rookie and the experienced division. So this is basically what defines an experienced person. You either must have been to a hackathon before, or you must have completed your own personal project. So if you built tic-tac-toe yesterday, that doesn't really count. If you built like, I don't know, some card game, then like APCS, that doesn't really count. If you've done your own personal project though, that we have to consider you guys as experienced, or if you've been to a hackathon before. And to qualify as a beginner, you must have not done that, basically. So everyone else. And it's really important because we want you guys to like sort of embody the spirit of hacking, and we don't want you guys to like lie, yes, about your division. So basically, the way it works is if anyone on your team is experienced, your team must submit as an experienced team. So the only way you can submit as a beginner team is if no one has done either going to hackathon or completing a personal project. That's just the way we've sort of made these things fair. And maybe one incentive to not like, say you're a super experienced person, but you're trying to like game the system and go as a beginner, the prizes are a little better for the experience track. So that's just one small incentive. But again, it's not about the prizes. It's about the hackathon spirit. So yeah, we're gonna have the top 3 prizes for the beginner and the top 3 prizes for the experienced division. So again, project submissions are at 5:30 p.m. The link is go.hackmit.org/submit. It's really important that you submit a project. If you do not submit a project, we do not know that you exist, / coded anything. And we want that to be a thing. So something really important during project submissions is that you have to indicate where you are physically, like location-wise, as in your table has a number. Because that's what the judges are going to use to find you. Otherwise, they don't know where to judge you, and then nothing will happen. So that's really important. So again, judging is from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. They're going to be walking around asking you guys questions about your project. And yeah. So again, team formation, it's going to be in that lecture hall. This is really important. So if you either do not have a complete team, or you do not have an idea for your project. So you can have a full team already, but not have an idea for your project. We really recommend that you go to team formation because they're going to make it like a really fun thing where you sort of meet people and talk about ideas. You're not just going to be like finding a team, you're going to be ideating as well. And they have like some little mini small prizes. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be in that room. So make sure to go after this if you are not sure of what you want to do / who you're going to work with. So at this point, happy hacking. If you have a team, go do your thing, find your table, have fun.